Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week 3 at Superbird Speedway. This week's matchups are interesting. We have our first all-custom main event, followed by our first all-YouTuber event between Rapid Nismo and Adam Cornelison. We are just taking an overview of all the cars that are racing tonight, and tonight should be a fun event. And if you are not familiar with our rules will be on the screen here in a second. This is going to be our second last week of this format, and after week 5, week 6, we will have a new format for as school is about to start back up at the time week 6 is about to happen. We are sitting trackside now. It is just about time for our first race between the classic TV series Batmobile and the Slingshot in the Spider-Man livery. And without a further ado, it is time to head down to our track and see what happens.
Hot Wheels racers, pick your lane!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week 3. We have ourselves a bit of a wet night, so we gotta make sure the track doesn't get too wet and our track system finish line does not get too damaged. But here we go. 3, 2, 1. Alright, the Batmobile took the first race, but now it's time to switch lanes as usual. And will the Batmobile take a sweep, or are we going to need a third race? 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, and by a score of 2-0, the classic TV series Batmobile wins! Another awesome race by the classic Batmobile. We are very familiar with the classic Batmobile going down our track, as it beat the TV series Batmobile by a score of 2-0. And at the time of recording, this means that the classic Batmobile has a record of 4 wins and 0 losses. And now it's just about time for our second race between the funny cars, the Camaro versus the Mustang. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a battle of funny cars, and it's between two rival muscle cars. We have ourselves the Mustang Funny car in lane 1, and the 10 Pro Stock Camaro in lane 6. Who's gonna win this battle of muscle cars? Who? Let's see. Wow, that might have been our worst performance we've ever seen on Superbird Speedway. It wasn't even close. Most of our cars have been below 2 seconds. That had to be like 2.5, 3 seconds before the Mustang crossed the line. All right, let's go. Wow. That Mustang must have took it personally, because it really clawed back in race 2. Let's see what happens in race 3. It's do or die. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we've never seen anything like this. The Mustang Funny car comes back from 1-0 down and wins! What an awesome comeback story for the Mustang. It's very clear that that Mustang took it quite personally. And the Mustang comes back after losing the first race abysmally. And comes back and wins the series 2-1. However, is this going to be enough to qualify for our top 12 at the end of week 4? Let's find out. We have the battle of 1/64 scale Bugattis. We have the Bugatti Chiron versus the Bugatti Divo. And it's a Hot Wheels versus Matchbox race. Who's going to win this battle? Let's see. We have ourselves quite a breeze, and now let's just hope it's not affecting the audio. We have the Divo in lane 1 and the Chiron in lane 6, and it's time to see who wins. 3, 2, 1. We are heading to a race 3. We are back into the original lanes that we saw before. Lane 1 for the Chiron. Lane 6 for the Divo. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, our third matchup of the night was a battle between Bugattis. We have the Chiron on the left, the Divo on the right, and this was one of our closest races we've had in a long time. However, there can only be one winner. And by a score of 2-1, our Bugatti Chiron wins! The Bugatti Chiron may have won this race, however both Bugattis have been pretty competitive with one another, and Matchbox is proving to the Hot Wheels that they are quite a competitive brand when it comes to the downhill racing scene. Is it going to be enough for the Bugatti Chiron to make it into our top 12 at the end of week 4 for a chance to be our next King of the Hill? We're going to have to find out at the end of this video. But without a further ado, it's now time for the halftime break. The Superbird Speedway halftime show is sponsored by Burnt Toast Playz. If you are looking for gaming content and epic vlogs, be sure to check out Burnt Toast Playz. The channel link will be in the description below, and now it's time to look at our 3 winners so far. We have the incredible Mustang Funny car. We have ourselves the Bugatti Chiron. Even though the Divo is in the spot of the Chiron, we made a mistake there, and our apologies. And as well as the Batmobile winning our first race in a clean sweep. And in our Cage of Doom, we have ourselves the Camaro, the Slingshot, and the Chiron, which is not supposed to be in that spot, and it should be the Divo. And yet again, our apologies go out to that Chiron, and now it's time for our 4th race. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves quite an interesting matchup. We have the modern Toyota Supra in lane 1, and the Porsche 911 GT3 RS in lane 6. This is quite an interesting matchup, and we were having a hard time thinking of a fair matchup for this Toyota Supra. But this is the one we ultimately came up with, and we hope you enjoy it. Let's race now. Wow, race 1 was quite the blowout, and the Toyota Supra takes it and has a 1-0 lead. We have switched lanes. Will the Porsche tie it up, or will the Supra just sweep? We're about to find out. Let's race! Ladies and gentlemen, Our fourth matchup of the night consisted of the 2020 Toyota Supra and the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. And by a score of 2-0, the 2020 Toyota Supra wins! Another car we have seen previously on our track, the 2020 Toyota Supra wins this series 2-0, and so it did against the Toyota Supra from 1994 on our circuit, as you can see in the highlights. You would have also seen the 94 Supra in our Week 1 matchups against the RX-7, where that got swept. But now it's time for our fifth race. Our fifth race is between Adam Cornelison in the 240Z and Rapid Nismo in the Austin Mini. Gentlemen, we have a race between two YouTubers. We have Adam Cornelison in the 240Z, and we have Rapid Nismo making a return. This time he's in the Austin minivan. Adam Cornelison in the 240Z versus Rapid Nismo in the Austin minivan. 3, 2, 1. Wow, what a blowout for Adam Cornelison in the 240Z. The Austin minivan needs to make some sort of a comeback here. What will happen? Let's find out, and let's race. Ladies and gentlemen, in our co-main event, we had a battle between two YouTubers. Adam Cornelison in the 240Z. My apologies if we accidentally butchered that. And Rapid Nismo in the Austin Mini. And by a score of 2-0, Adam Cornelison in the Datsun 240Z wins! There was no really crazy surprise there, and that's why we try to keep our matchups as fair as possible. However, we wanted to have an all-YouTuber matchup for our co-main event, and here are our winners so far from 1 to 5, and this is one last look we are going to take before our main event. We started out with the Batmobile, who won 2-0, the incredible comeback story of the Mustang, the 2-1 victory of the Chiron, the Supra, who swept, followed by the 240Z, who also followed with a sweep. And up next, we are going to take one last look at our Cage of Doom, which consisted of Rapid Nismo in the Austin Mini. We have the Porsche 911 GT3 RS in lime, which got swept by our Toyota Supra. We have the Slingshot with the Spider-Man livery. We have the Camaro, which choked a 1-0 series lead. And last, but certainly not least, the Bugatti Divo. It's time for our main event, and our two customs are facing each other one last time before they roll out and go down our track. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just about time for our main event. I'm going to introduce these custom racers. On the left, we have Vertigo, which is a modified HW Formula Solar, which was painted blue and has JB Weld to add some weight to it. And on the right, this car remains with its original name, with the Blastous. However, it's customized and completely restored with Hot Wheels wheels from the Corvette Grand Sport Roadster from the B case. Who's gonna win? It's best 3 out of 5. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. That was a concerning race for the Vertigo, and it was a very slow car. However, the Blastous is showing and turning some heads. What's gonna happen in race 2? It's best 3 out of 5. The Blastous has a 1-0 series lead. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking good for the Vertigo, and it's been kind of disappointing. And the Blastous, on the other hand, has been really impressive on our track. What's going to happen in race 3? It's do or die for the Vertigo. And it's time. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, in our main event, which is our first all-custom matchup ever, by a clean sweep, which is 3-0 in favor of the Blastous. The Blastous wins! The Blastous becomes our first car in the main event to sweep its opponent as it wins this series by a score to 3-0. Of course, it has the wheels of that fast Grand Sport Roadster, and the Formula Solar that we used, which is also known as the Vertigo, had some problems with friction. So we are not brutally surprised here. And now it's time to take one last look at our winners of the night for week 3. Now we have to take a look at our recipients in the Cage of Doom. Our recipients in the Cage of Doom consist of the Spider-Man liveried Slingshot, the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, the Pro Stock Camaro, the Morris Mini, the Austin Mini, Vertigo, and last but certainly not least, it's the Bugatti Divo. And on screen right now is our qualifying cars in the top 12 right now. Our top 6 cars are guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, which will be clinching our King of the Hill. Week 4 is going to be a race between all of my childhood King of the Hills, and they are going to race one another on Superbird Speedway to try to make the playoffs. We hope you guys enjoyed week 3. We will be back here with our childhood King of the Hill edition of Superbird Speedway next weekend. We hope to see you there for such an epic week of racing. Happy hunting and stay safe.